Hello, everyone. This is the Cosmic Panel. Today, we're going to be doing a really cool segment where we're going to have Elias guess the MCU villain based off their quote.
I love
You
these
ready,
guys.
Elias?
Yeah, man. I love the MCU, especially their villains.
Yeah. I will warn you that we will kill your family if you get any of them wrong. So just be aware of that. But if you win, you get $1 million.
What?
So
Oh,
don't worry about it. You already
okay,
signed the
cool.
contract. So
Yeah,
let's start with softball. Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
that would be Thanos.
Nice. Okay, good. Next up, don't get so attached to things. Learn to let go.
Yeah. Ultron.
That is Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2.
Oh,
So the next quote was, if it were easy, everyone would do it.
yeah, man. I love the MCU so much. Yeah. I'm just a big fan.
Yeah.
I don't know. Killmonger. I don't know.
Loki. Thor Dark
That's
World.
true.
You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. How is humanity saved if it's not allowed to evolve?
That's got to be Ultron.
Yeah, ding, ding, ding.
Cool.
The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
That's Thanos.
That's also Thanos. Don't ever apologize for being the smartest one in the room.
Fuck. That's Killmonger. That's Killmonger.
No, it is Mysterio.
No?
It's Mysterio.
Oh, wait. That's when he's
In the
being
bar.
buddy to Peter. Yeah.
I have patience and experience. A man can do anything if he has those.
That's Killmonger.
Nope. Zemo. I don't care about one boat. I care about the fleet.
I genuinely have no idea. I'm just gonna keep guessing Killmonger until it's right.
It's hit villain Alexander Pierce from Captain America Winter Soldier. People think in terms of
Big
good
fan.
and evil, but really time is the true enemy of us all. Time kills everything.
Killmonger.
Kaecilius. Finally, the world's changing. It's time to change too.
That's Killmonger.
No, Killmonger was not on this list at all. That was Vulture.
What? I don't remember shit Vulture said. I watched that movie once and it was trash.
So yeah, I'm sorry.
So yeah, I love the MCU. I'm just a big fan. Thanks for letting me be a part of this. You know, the world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is one to explore and enjoy for everyone. You know.
Hey guys, welcome to the Cosmic Panel, where today we're going to be discussing our weekly polls. But before we do, we want to give a quick shout out to Comic Universe, our sponsor for this channel. Located at 446 McDade Boulevard in Folsom, PA, this comic shop has a great collection of trades and hardcovers. They got keys, they got graded books, they got new comics every Wednesday. If you want to go in through the back issue bins or even the dollar bins, highly recommend. They always got some really cool stuff lying around. So yeah, go down to Folsom, PA, and definitely check out Comic Universe. And if you do, tell Mike and Mike that the Cosmic Panel sent you.
Thanks, guys. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, support your local comic shop, and comment below what you guys are excited to read this week. Lots of good books, as always. Let's get into it, Lucas. What is your first pick for this week?
My first pull for this week is Miles Morales Spider-Man number 24. We're almost 25 issues in. Pretty crazy run. Cody Ziegler, phenomenal writer. Done a lot of world building, has built up some cool stuff within the Miles pantheon. But now that Miles is a vampire, it's kind of a new status quo for him. Weirdly enough, he's almost having almost a black suit arc in a way, because he's getting more violent because the more he uses his venom powers, the more the vampire side of him starts to come out, because the venom energy is actually feeding his vampire side. But if he uses too much of it, it doesn't satiate his hunger. So it's a pretty interesting balance that he has because of his power specifically. But also on top of that, Starling, who is his girlfriend, who is the granddaughter of Vulture, is now trying to. Vulture just came back into her life and was like, "Hey, I don't like that you're dating Spider-Man." So next issue is going to be involving that, and I'm excited to see Miles face off against Adrian Toomes, because for some fucking reason, Adrian mixed up the two Spider-Men and thought that Peter, who sounds like a 30-year-old, is hitting on his teenage daughter or teenage granddaughter. Which, I mean, I don't blame Vulture for getting pissed if he thought that. But yeah.
Hey man, at this point, if Vulture's not suffering from like memory issues and just general confusion, I would be disappointed. Adrian Toomes must have been at least in his 70s when he first debuted in the 60s. So yeah, there's no shot. There's no shot, man. Yeah, again, I like that they had an impact from Blood Hunt, on characters in the Marvel Universe. I like that. I don't like that they picked Miles necessarily to have this effect on. I think maybe, you could have done a longer running hero, if you're going to change someone into a vampire permanently, or at least, for the foreseeable future. I just feel like Miles doesn't need something that feels like a very basic
I just realized
plot point to develop him.
Wait, BP Black Panther never turned back from a vampire, right?
No, he said that the vibranium in his blood just like fought off the infection and he's fine now.
That's okay. Nah, that's fuck that.
This is what I mean. Like we're very loosey goosey with this shit, and so that's why I'm sort of like, okay, why are we sticking with Miles out of all the characters? Like Strange is fine,
BP was forced.
Panther's fine, but now it's just Miles. Fucking yeah, anything would make that Black Panther book more interesting. Honestly.
Yeah, BP, it was interesting because like during the Blood Hunt tie-ins, it was literally about the gods fighting each other, and it was like, what's his name, the Bat God fighting for control versus Bast, and that was like actually interesting because we were like finally seeing Bast for the first time in ages.
But yeah, I don't know. I love it and I hate it. I mean, I hopefully they figure out some good storylines to do with him, but I just feel like it's a very unnecessary thing to do to Miles, particularly.
There's too many solutions. That's really the problem, in my opinion. Is there's too many solutions and ways to fix it, and no one's doing it. Like you have to make it so that he's trapped in a corner. You know what I mean? Like he has no choice if you're going to make it feel impactful.
Right. That's fair.
Anyway, what's your first pull, Elias?
My first pull this week is going to be Poison Ivy number 25. Big 25 issues of Poison Ivy, which is something I never thought we would see. Such a long, ongoing Poison Ivy book is pretty cool. This book started out as G. Willow Wilson's eco-terrorist bonanza. Love letter bonanza. Yeah, this has been a really fun run. I'm excited about this issue. This is definitely going to be a celebration issue with different creators, lots of artists, lots of writers coming in, doing their thing on Ivy, which, is always fun. But I'm hoping that this does set up some important stuff for the future of Ivy, because, this is going to keep going. We have to have a pretty strong arc, I would say, to continue here. Now that we're moving past Woodrue and all these kind of basic Pamela plot points, we really got to, evolve it a little bit, if you will, and get it really going. So, yeah, I'm excited to get into this issue. This is an oversized issue, so I'm excited to crack it open.
Yeah, it's kind of insane to see where Poison Ivy has come since her inception. And this run has been so huge for really portraying that, showing just how much Ivy has changed, not only as a villain but as a character in general. Before just a person that would attract men and rob people and use plant powers, and now she's a fully fleshed out character that has a backstory, a tragic one, of abuse, of being misled, and it's so interesting and it's so unique. And then we also have that relationship with Harley, which is always so fun to see and so rewarding.
Yeah, definitely. Their dynamic is has been fantastic in this run, especially. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Lucas, what's next up for you?
Next up for me is Helen of Windhorn. This book, it just keeps, oh man, it just keeps going, man. Every time I think the issue can't get better, it just keeps going. So we got to meet Helen's grandmother, and turns out she's a god. Oopsies. So her grandfather fucked a goddess. That's basically the reveal. And when he goes to tell his ex-wife, like, hey, sorry, our son committed suicide, obviously she was slightly pissed, rightfully so. But basically we just got a whole issue where it was Helen and her grandfather just traveling this fantastical world. And like it was really sick moments where like Helen would pass out and people would try to kill them, and then literally she would wake up from like getting drunk, and her grandfather would have like slaughtered everyone already. And I was like, we didn't even see the action scenes because they're that quick. Like it's such a laws such a relaxed affair for Barnabas. But yeah, no, this
Laissez-faire.
yeah, laissez faire. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's really sick. And I love that he's not dumb. He's not fucking dumb. So there's a specific moment in the book where so to get into the new world, the other world, every time you have to sacrifice something, and this witch that guards it is like, I require one of your teeth. And so every time he pulls out a teeth and he gives it to her. But then by the end of the issue, you realize he's been pulling off teeth from the dead people he's killed and just palming it and then giving it to her, never removing his own teeth. Which is like, oh, okay, thank God he actually doesn't just pull out his own teeth like a moron. So it's really cool. But yeah, no, the series is awesome. I'm loving it. Art,
Yeah, I'm
fantastic.
glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, I can imagine. She's super talented.
What's next up for you, Elias?
Next up for me is going to be Incredible Hulk number 16. This is a cool arc in story. While I'm not a huge fan of Danny Earls' art, I think that we're getting into some interesting Hulk lore here. Philip Kennedy is showing us the first Hulk. Supposedly, this is the very first Hulk in Kidu, who is looks a little bit more devilish, a bit more demonic. And this Hulk is getting the front page, the main story. So I'm very curious to get more info on this character. Obviously, they seem to already have a relationship with Eldest and the mother of monsters. So yeah, I'm very excited to find out more about these characters that we have now, and curious if we'll get any Bruce check-in at all as he tries to save Charlie.
Yeah, I really love the references to the One Below All and the Green Door. It
Yeah.
really pulled this origin story really well together.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually really like that he was like in human form, looked feeble, and the monsters were like, "Oh, we're gonna kill you," and he was just like, "Nah." Like that's so
Yeah.
rewarding.
Yeah, definitely. They showed how brutal this Hulk was, just ripping like the giant monsters in half, just effortlessly. So yeah, I'm excited to find out more about who this person is, how they came into Hulk's power, and yeah, the inclusion of the Green Door, mention the Green Door, is always a really helpful um, atmosphere builder and just reminder of the larger universe that Hulk now exists in.
Yeah.
Lucas, what's next up for you?
Next up for me is Dawn Runner number 5. This is the last issue, and holy fuck. This series escalated so quickly. We had the pilot and the mech suit finally meld. Anita, who is the pilot, and Dawn Runner, who is the mech suit that is ran by someone, an old soldier who passed away, named, I always forget his name, man. He is, I'm blanking on it, but I don't, do they give him a name? I don't think so, actually, now that I think about it. I think they purposefully leave it vague. But yeah, they were on the ropes. They were gonna die. This fucking monster was the biggest they've ever seen. And they've been linking up consistently more often every time and then pulling out right before they would meld. So they've kind of been teasing that they were going to turn into one being at one point or something along those lines. And then finally, they were pushed against the wall. And these mech suits can heal themselves, just like Evangelion mech suits can. And so when they meld, they healed up and absorbed the monster's body and killed it. But now we just have a rogue mech with no one inside of it and the two AIs or two minds of the people. So pretty crazy. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I still got to check this series out. I'm really excited to do so. I love me some Brown V, of course. But yeah, 5 issues seems like a good short story. Short,
yeah,
the
sweet. Art is insane.
Word.
What's next up for you, Elias?
Next up for me is going to be Absolute Power number 3. Very fun homage to the famous Wolverine cover here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dan Moore, get an original cover? Idea? Like, copycat much? I'm excited to get more of this event. We only have 4 issues in this event, which is pretty crazy. So far, the heroes are still on the back foot. No, it's only 4 issues.
Damn, okay.
So far, the heroes are only on the back foot, and I don't know how they're going to recover from the 2 books that I was already reading that did happen to tie in, Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. It's still not clear what their plan is. Hopefully they will be able to do something with Hal's weapon cache, but the Wonder Woman issue was a little more comical than helpful. Of course, they finally did reveal where the prison is on Gamora Island, but we have yet to take action. So this issue has a lot to tackle in my mind, and also because this is supposed to set up the absolute universe, we need to start broaching, this Omega power and Darkseid's involvement in this and all this. So I'm itching to get a lot of answers out of this issue, but yeah, this has been a really fun event.
Yeah, so far the heroes have been on the back foot consistently. So I'm hoping they can pull something, because right now, I'm not gonna lie, they're still looking dire. But yeah. Hey, they got new fits, and we can always appreciate those.
That's right.
Maybe the robots won't kill them if they look drippy.
Your drip is too hard. Your swag is too...
I can't.
Your swag is too extreme.
Can't compute. Can't free. Wait. What was it? It's like drip.
Amazos have no drip.
What's it? It's like the drip click is click to click hard click.
Like, yeah, exactly. What's next up for you?
Next up for me is Immortal Thor number 15. The last arc was really sick. I really, really liked it. I love the dichotomy of Loki yet again being a hero, a villain that he needs to beat to gain more power and skill. And I love him fighting against Zeus and Nyx. I love that he was able to overpower Zeus, and every time Zeus would throw lightning, he was just like, move. He was just like constantly just going in the opposite direction of where Zeus wanted it.
Yeah, turn.
Yeah, turd. It was so cool. It was like, here we go. And I love that Hercules literally didn't have to lift a finger because Thor was like, yeah, nah, I got this. Don't worry about this. And then I also love that Loki was like, "What, Nyx? Why the fuck would you want to leave this? Like, this is literally like what you were describing earlier." And then Nyx was like,
Well, no,
"Oh
Hercules.
yeah,
Hercules. That's what was so
oh
cool about it
Hercules, you're
was
right."
Hercules was the one with the sharp tongue in this issue, not doing the fighting.
Yeah, that
So
was
it was
it.
a cool switch up for Hercules.
But yeah, no, I really love both the characterizations. I loved everyone in this arc. This was a short arc, only like 2 issues, but really
Well, I
good.
mean,
They
I
had
don't think
the
it's quite done
yeah, you're right. You're right. It's probably not. Um,
because
because they're
now
talking about Enchantress, but
Thor's very powerful at this point.
yeah, I'm excited to see how he's gonna fix the spell on him on Midgard because I like that it's still a valid thing. Like it can't be undone easily. Like, and I like that Loki's like, I literally can't just undo that. That's we'd have to kill everyone that reads the story.
Yeah.
So it's good though. It's good. It's very very good and very well thought out. Al Ewing just killing it like usual.
Yeah, this feels like a logical advancement, progression of the story, and the book is definitely rough for me without Kokolo.
Really, I
But
honestly I liked it to
I
be
need,
honest.
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Basaldro on this. It's too harsh of a pivot. When we don't have fill and artists that are similar to the vibe, it's kind of rough for me. Yeah, this is a cool progression for the story. Al obviously set up his love for Nyx's mythology in the Avengers No Road Home book that he wrote. So it's always cool to see him follow up on previous storylines and show that he really cares about his universe and cares about his characters.
Yeah, I also love the use of Zeus as like a prototype for Thor. That was like a unique take from Gaia. I really
Yeah, that was
like
very
that.
interesting.
And Elias, what's your next pick?
My next pick is Plastic Man No More, number 1. This is number 1 I didn't know I wanted, but I'm very excited to get into this. This is Christopher Cantwell, who is one of my favorite modern comic writers because he always does his research and he always shows his love for the obscure characters. He did this, first to my knowledge in his Iron Man run, and now he's going to be working with Plastic Man. Very interesting pick. I wonder if he pitched this to DC or if DC was looking for someone to work with Plastic Man. But either way, this is a Black Label book, so they're going to get into some pretty hairy stuff, I'm sure, and not be afraid
To
of
kill
some
off.
more, controversial moments and ways to treat characters. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. This is going to be a very horrifying and interesting body horror take on Plastic Man. Obviously, he lends himself to that. I'm just curious to see how they're gonna, make his body horror unique to him. Obviously, Mr. Fantastic, we've seen in comics to have many body horror moments before. So it looks like we're going to kind of go down the melting route, it looks like a bit. But yeah, I'm very excited to get into this book. Jacob Edgar, I'm curious to see what he's like on Plastic Man. And yeah, I'm very excited to get into this book.
I'm glad that they're finally bringing back Luke O'Brien because it has been fucking forever since anyone has fucking mentioned him. Last time he was mentioned was in the Terrifics, so like it's been forever. But even before that, it was like 52. So, but he plays a huge role in the Injustice comics because he's like the whole reason that Plastic Man fights against Superman is to break out his son, who was like robbing and helping lead the resistance. So I really like the idea of Plastic Man being a father and raising his child, and like his child trying to be a criminal, and him being like, "I been there, done that. Let's not do that." And also, the cool thing about him is that he can change his color, so he can become objects basically. He can shapeshift and then become change his color. At least in the Injustice book, I don't know if they're going to follow the Zek storyline with him, but it's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Again, a book I didn't expect to see on the shelves. and it really snuck up on me. I feel like I just saw the previews for this, so yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
All right, Lucas, what's next up for you?
My top pick is the Ultimates number 4. Um, we're gonna get the fate of the Ultimate Fantastic Four. We never learned what happened. We know that they avoided the cosmic storm because of the Maker, and we know that Reed was kidnapped. We know that Reed lived a normal life. He became a scientist. He went on the trip, and then he got taken by Doom. I mean, not Doom, by the Maker, and then became Doom. So now the real question is, he is trying to recreate the actual experiment that caused the original Fantastic Four, um, and he's also trying to give himself the powers that he should have gotten. And I'm really interested to see how that's gonna end because I don't see it ending well. I'm not gonna lie. And Doom has been missing the past couple issues, and I honestly love that. I love that like the cast constantly changes per book because they're doing shit. There's different teams doing stuff. Like they don't all just go on one mission specifically. They probably will near the end of the arc, and that'll be really satisfying. But I like that it's like last issue was Sif, Thor, and Iron Lad, and then the issue before that was Cap, Iron Lad, Giant Man, and Wasp. Like that for me was super satisfying. But last issue was also phenomenal. I really loved last issue. It was just a horrifying issue in the best possible way, I guess. Touching on a lot of like genuinely real awful stuff that has happened in the world, such as like Agent Orange being used in Vietnam, stuff like that, and testing on indigenous people. It's dark. It's dark. It's tragic. But I love that this universe doesn't shy away from that and doesn't use it in like an edgy way. Like this is so cool. It's like no, this is awful. Like this is genuinely awful, and this shit happens, and people should acknowledge it. And when you make a promise to help them, don't fucking just don't rescind that promise as soon as you get what you want. And I like that Iron Lad, She-Hulk basically. I love that She-Hulk isn't Jen Walters. That one, I love that. I love that, and I love that when she showed the village of Hulks, it was like, here's your army of Hulks, and it was just people that were just fucking living the worst lives. Because of the gamma radiation. I love that. But then I love that she was like, I'll be on your team if you can fix this island. And Iron Lad is like, because he's a kid, he's still a kid, he's still getting used to the world. He's like, oh, this would take too long. We would have to regrow we would have to resoil everything, de-irradiate everything. And she's like, that's my thing. If you can't do it, then you won't get me. And so Tony's going to have to figure that out. And I'm really excited to see what he does. But also, tease of Hulk at the end. So, hype.
I'm curious to learn more about how Bruce was able to have such a normal Hulk form, after going through the same thing that supposedly they did.
Yeah.
It's very strange because the village was very, varying in their effects.
It was like a 1 in a million chance.
Yeah, Tony did mention something about Hulk having to, Bruce having to go through a lot of like processes to regain his like intelligence and like higher functioning of like brain abilities, which is interesting. But I do want to learn a little bit more about that because that is interesting to me. But yeah, last issue was very strong, and I'm happy that they're building out the roster more. But I am curious to see what if Doom is really gonna still be benevolent or not. If he's going to turn to a darker path, which seems very possible.
Yeah. Also, I know that Denise Camp has been pitching this as like, figure out why Iron Man is Doctor Doom in the new movie ahead of schedule by picking up number 4. I love that. He's just fucking pulling everyone's chain. He's just like peeving off everyone by doing like on purpose.
That's Imagine we just get a Robert Downey Jr. cameo in here though somehow.
First appearance of Robert Downey Jr. in comics.
Yeah. The one thing I'm not excited about is that this is Phil Noto on the art. Just saying.
Yeah. That's valid. That's valid.
I don't love that he has to fill in like every book right now.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his art either. But I mean, if this is mostly a dialogue heavy issue, I'll be fine. I just don't want a lot of action. That's basically the gist of it.
For sure.
He's just not good with action specifically. But yeah, what's your top pick, Elias?
My top pick for this week is the long-awaited Penguin number 12. This is the final issue of Tom King's Penguin solo book. This has been a fun ride for sure. And now we have to get back to the beginning of our story where we started and figure out how Penguin ends up in the river with Batman. So yeah, I'm very excited to get into this final issue, see where this leaves Penguin, see what the DC has planned for him. Obviously, we have the HBO show coming out very soon. So this is kind of going to be important maybe for that. If they want to keep people engaged in Penguin, get people excited for the show. But yeah, I'm very excited to see how this story wraps up. This has been a very fun book, no doubt.
Yeah, I just got 3 words. Walk, walk, walk. But in actuality, this story has been great. I really do wonder what's going to happen. Especially, I also wonder, are we going to finally get Oswald's POV? Do you think that that's going to happen, or do you think he's going to keep hiding that? I would love if his POV was just like, fuck, 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 fuck. Just like the entire time he's just freaking out. It would be really funny.
I think it's only right, and it does feel like a very Tom King thing to do to finally, yes, give us Penguin's perspective. I think that seems right. And I mean, but I won't be upset if they don't do that, you know?
Yeah.
I won't be upset.
Yeah, definitely. Really excited to see what's going to happen. Well, guys, that'll be the end of the weekly polls. Thank you guys for tuning in for this week. Hopefully you guys enjoy your polls. Comment down below what you're pulling. And yeah, until next week. Bye-bye.